being honest with where you stand and how you feel, it's really giving another person an option and opportunity to be as honest with you. And whatever your fear of that is, of that outcome, is never really as big as what you make it up to be. You know, it's really not that. So I would say maybe just being honest and living with the results. You know, and tomorrow is not promised to anyone, but time will move on. You know, you will move past it. You know, and if tomorrow never come, at least you can know that you said what you needed to say.
Do not compare yourself to other people that are farther along the journey and assume that you're going to get there overnight. Once again, the killer of joy is comparison. You need to run away from that. And finally, you need to understand that you must be willing to sacrifice who you are today for who you want to become tomorrow. You have to sacrifice who you are today for who you want to become tomorrow. The Bible, there's a verse in the Bible that says, "When I became a man, I put away childish things." You can't become the best version of yourself unless you're willing to neglect who you are today. The bad habits, the bad friendships, the bad relationships, the bad ideas, the bad mindset. Because if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to become a person that's successful, if you want to develop a better physique, it will require sacrifice. And if you want to get to the next level, it'll cost you. There is a price to success. It hurts. Like, you've had to neglect friends.
Yeah.
You've had to neglect certain comments from family members.
Yeah.
You've had to work overnight for years and years, and nobody's gonna see that.
Yeah.
Nobody, but that's the price. And you will either live the price with two aspects, because you're gonna pay the price regardless of life. You will pay the price of discipline and hard work, or you will pay the price of regret.
Only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. And that's when he said, success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge, because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default. He's like, all you can do is think about your goal and winning. He's like, and when you win, that's when you become so big that they shrink into irrelevance. You cast a shadow that no one even can see them behind you.
The person who should care least is you. You're the only person who wakes up every day who should have a genuine vested interest in improving your life. Nobody else wakes up and wants to improve your life, only you. So if nobody else cares about how you feel, why do you care? So my argument also for depression is, you're depressed, fine. Have you trained today? Well, that doesn't change what you should do with your life.
Once you know better, you gotta almost do better. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I refuse to ignore it. I refuse to see it an opportunity that I had to change things and act like it didn't exist.
People say they want to be happy. That's not true, by the way. If you investigate what people mean when they say they want to be happy, they say, I just want to be happy. It's a very funny phrase. It's, what do you mean, just? Like, there isn't anything harder than that. So you can't just say just, that's all you want. You just want to be happy all the time. That's all it would take. It's like, good luck with that. That's not gonna happen. So you can get rid of the just. And then, I wanna be happy. Well, maybe. Actually, what people really mean when they say that is they don't wanna suffer and be miserable.
It's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes, because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. And if that's the case, like, some people are stuck in high school. You know, they're stuck in failures that they had, like when they were first getting jobs, and they always think that they're a loser, and they don't like the feeling of failure, so they keep low expectations so that they never have to feel that. You got to get through it. You got to get through bad feelings. You got to get through failure. It's very important, and you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going.
Do you actually want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing. And if you don't really want to do it, what's going to stop you? Just about anything that comes up. Just about any obstacle that gets in your way becomes an excuse. It becomes a reason. It becomes a rationale for not proceeding down that path.
Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans. So you can start vaguely and confused and develop a plan that's not so great, and you start to implement it. And then you accrue incremental wisdom as you implement your flawed plan. And that enables you to fix the plan. And so that's part of that process of incremental self-improvement as well.
Create a life that you can't wait to wake up to. I live that life. I hate to sleep. I hate sleeping. I love every minute of my life. Love every minute of it. I can't wait to wake up tomorrow. I can't wait to start tomorrow. And when you really feel that way, I really don't give a shit about a lot of things. Everybody judges by success of money or business accomplishments or games you won and things like that. The true measure of success is how happy are you? I know some guys that are fucking crazy rich and the most miserable human beings you could ever meet. If you get up every day and you're really happy and you really do enjoy and love your life and you love you're surrounded by people you love doing it with, you could not be more successful.
If you understood the power of your thoughts, you'd never think negatively ever again. I also think that once you understand all of the bad things and good things that come into your life are a perfect plan from God himself, you're going to be a lot less affected by the bad things. If something bad happens to you, it's part of God's plan. He knows what he's doing. In the end, you're going to be happy it happened. I often ask people, is there anything bad that's happened to you in the past at the time you were distraught about that you now wish didn't even happen? And truthfully, you're like, no, I'm kind of glad it all happened because of. So if you understand you're always going to get there eventually, why be upset about it now, right? If you know in a year from now you'll be glad it happened, why be upset about it happening now? You have to be cerebral enough about things. And I think if you take these approaches, if you take the approach of manifesting what you want so you're constantly motivated and understanding all the bad things that happen to you are just a lesson and one day you're going to get over it, it's pretty easy to be a happy, contented, balanced person. I don't think there's any serious magic to happiness. I think it's a choice and it's pretty easy to do. I think the unhappiest people in the world don't have any struggle at all. You often find that people who are struggling but know exactly what they're supposed to do, if they're getting up every day and they're grinding and they're working hard and they don't have what they want yet, but they believe they're going to get it and they're trying their very best and they're dedicating themselves, they're very happy. Perhaps the people who are born with a trust fund and unlimited money and have no struggles in their life and they have no objectives to try and conquer are truly the miserable ones. Perhaps we're built for struggle. Perhaps the human mind and soul and spirit is built to struggle. Perhaps we're built to suffer. I know me as a man, I'm happiest when I suffer.
Your best work has to come when you're least motivated. Where does that come from? It comes from basically, I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things.
Imagine living a life where you can't be who you really are.
Correct.
It's got to be a horrible thing, right? Yes. Fuck that. I am who I am. If you like it or you don't like it, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
That's your problem, not mine. So you're going to have people who do like you and don't like you.
Feelings has nothing to do with it. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do the things that I don't feel like doing. I'm going to do the things I don't want to do. I'm going to do the things that don't come easy to me, that do not come natural to me. I'm going to get up and do it. You can't live your life on feelings. You're going to have feelings, okay, but you cannot let your feelings dictate what you are or are not going to do today. At what age should you have everything together? For us normal people, it takes time. Because not only do you have to mature and grow, there's things in life that if you have a big enough dream, you're not the person you need to be right now to fulfill that dream. Now you keep moving towards it. You keep doing what needs to be done. But at the same time, you realize that you yourself are gaining in knowledge and in experience and in personal growth, and that sometimes you're not ready. The dream isn't ready for you, and you're not ready for your own dream.
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions.
So to me, what failure is the mother of all success. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan getting cut from his 9th grade basketball team, he wouldn't have became Michael Jordan. You know, if it wasn't for, I seen an article the other day where they were talking about Oprah Winfrey and how she got fired because she wasn't good for television. Because all it's gonna do is lead you in the right direction.
And it's so much easier to make the same choice every single day. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're going to feel uncomfortable because you're stepping from the known into the unknown. So some people would rather cling to their self-pity than take a chance and possibility. They'd rather tell the story of their past instead of telling the story of their future. They'd rather believe in their past instead of believe in their future.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
And even if you're not where you want to be in life and you're grinding and you're on that hustle.
And there's a lot of people like that, right?
I get it. Keep grinding, but also appreciate it. Appreciate that hustle. Appreciate this thing. Appreciate this fucking beautiful, chaotic, unknown existence you're in.
The thing we call life.
Yeah, that you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's open-ended. It's wide.
Man.
It's a complete open loop experience. You don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you're just trying to enjoy the ride.
Anything I have done in my life, I've done it, and I've done it with the expectation of having no regrets, or I wouldn't have done it in the first place. I'm a man of calculation. You know what I mean? I'm a man of strategic planning and strategic movement. You know, so when I do things, I make sure I don't regret it, you know what I mean? Because if you do things and you know you weren't gonna regret it, you only bring in hindrance to yourself, you know what I mean? I don't wanna hinder myself because I already have a heavy load on me. You know what I'm saying? Being the money maker of the family. You know what I mean? Not only just the family, I help so many people outside of my family that I don't advertise. I don't look to see publicity for and stuff like that.
I think one of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. You know, like you want something to be true, even if it isn't true. And so you ignore the things that, you ignore the real truth because of what you want to be true. This is a very difficult trap to avoid. And like I said, it's certainly one that I find myself in having problems with. But if you just take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong and your goal is to be less wrong.
They're going to, and you're also going to make a bunch of mistakes in life, and you're going to do stupid things, and it's because you didn't know or that was the example you had. It doesn't mean that you're broken. You're not broken. You're just going through things, and you have to evolve, and a lot of times that evolution has pain in it and a lot of mistakes that sometimes you're even ashamed of.
What could you do to improve yourself? Well, let's step one step backwards. The first question might be, why should you even bother improving yourself? And I think the answer to that is something like, so you don't suffer any more stupidly than you have to. And maybe so others don't have to either. It's something like that. You know, like there's a real injunction at the bottom of it. It's not some casual self-help doctrine. It's that if you don't organize yourself properly, you'll pay for it, and in a big way, and so will the people around you. It's very rare that you can find someone who's in excruciating pain who would ever say, well, it would be no better if I was out of this. It's sort of pain is one of those things that brings the idea that it would be better if it didn't exist along with it. It's incontrovertible.
The man who never fell has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is. The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater glory.
Wow.
That man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never fell. There's no glory in that.
You know, that envy thing plays a major part, right? Like, who's really happy for you? Who's really happy for your success?
Genuinely happy.
Like, who's really there and they're like, dude, it's so dope to see you do what you did. Like, who's really looking at you guys in this space like, God damn, man, the motherfuckers started here, now they here. Yo, it's dope to see from the outside and watch you guys. Like, where are you getting that energy from, and where is it genuine? I think that's the separation, right? Because you got different looks that you receive.
Right.
You got the
Why you and not me? Right.
I'm over here. I've been doing this shit
forever.
Yeah. Now you.
Right.
Come on, man. Like that's crazy. Like you got a bunch of those.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Those add up.
Absolutely.
But then when you do receive the genuine and you look at where it comes from, man, I think it's that's what makes it worth it. That's the ammunition and fuel that you need to not just know that you're doing the right thing, but know that the trajectory, right? Like it's going to get bigger, it can get bigger, but with the right people around you, your head can stay in the best spot ever.